Okay, so today we have Sloan and Money City Maniacs. Now, since I am Canadian, people have said you got to do Sloan. They're a great Canadian band and all this stuff. And of course, I've heard of Sloan. They're from Halifax, Nova Scotia, which isn't that far away from me. I mean, I got the Nathan McKinnon picture behind me there. He's from Nova Scotia as well. Cole Harbour, I do believe. But either way, I said, okay, I'll do the song. Again, they've been requested. This song specifically has been requested a lot. I've heard it on the radio. You can't get away from Sloan on Canadian rock radio. But I've never actually delved into the lyrics or actually kind of really listened to it. So let's get into this, talk about it after. Watch the video here. Let's go. You wanted it. Here we go. And that bass guitar. If this doesn't pump you up, I mean... Calm down for a minute. There it is, Sloan and Money City Maniac. Everything about the song just seems to be perfect for a perfect Canadian rock band, a perfect Canadian rock song here, or just a perfect rock song. I mean, they took so many different rock and roll tropes, I want to say, from the hand claps to the sirens off the get-go that just hook you in. And I know some people I've heard don't like sirens in a song because, especially if you're driving a car, you might think, what the hell's going on? And then you realize, oh, it's in the song. Anyway, the superb bass line, obviously, that's from the beginning to end of the song. I mean, it's so prominent. The fast and hard-hitting drumming here, and the fast guitar work, too, fast bass work, too. But in the in-your-face guitar work, I mean, and then I do believe there was some solos in there, too. And it's just so, like I said, in your face. It's punchy. And like I wanted to kind of mention, I did read that Patrick Pentland, who sang the verses here, and then Chris Murphy sang the choruses on the song. I do believe Patrick was one of the band members anyway, kind of said they wanted to inject some Kiss and some AC/DC into the song. And when you think of Kiss and AC/DC, I mean, you think about the huge stage shows. If I could talk, my God, the outfits and all that stuff, and how loud and how in your face and how just, I don't know, big those bands are and how big their sound was and how much swagger they had. And you can kind of get that from this, even though in this video, you look at these guys and I mean, yeah, there's something about them and it just seems so Canadian. You look at their outfits, the hair, the glasses. I mean, I don't know what it is, just right down to all that stuff. It's just, you look at them and you say, yeah, they're Canadian. My goodness. Even though Patrick was born in Ireland, and I don't know if they reside in Canada today or what, but I do believe everyone else was born in Canada. But either way, it's just, there's something so Canadian about them, and not just what I love. And I love the video there too, very creative. I like how it's just the band just playing, and you have a red background, and I don't know if it's red because they're Canadian or maybe I'm reaching there. But either way, I just love their friendliness and their swagger too. And like I said, just how they put everything into this song, and it just gets you going. It gets you pumped up. Like I said, when it started, I was like, I don't know how you listen to this intro and you don't get pumped up. I mean, you got to turn it up full blast, especially if you're in the car. And when you hear those sirens starting, and then again the bass line just under it, it's just so menacing, but and intense. I mean, oh my goodness, the song is so intense. But either way, I do also want to just say too, with the Kiss and the AC/DC stuff, I did see too that the band was kind of influenced by bands like the Beatles, and I mean, who is it? The Stooges as well. And yeah, you just kind of see where that influence maybe comes in on this song especially. And I do believe they said that they did make them, and I say they, but I want to say if it was Chris or Patrick. I was reading a bunch of things before getting into this, but they said they did make the most money off of this song, Money City Maniacs, because it's been used so many different places and commercials and all that stuff. And that's the whole point of being a rock and roll band, as it's put in the song here, of, being a traveling band. My goodness gracious, Patrick says it a few times. But one thing, too, I think about, and maybe I'm talking into my butt here, but I think about how Sloan maybe isn't as well known outside of Canada as they are known in Canada, and especially in the Maritimes. I mean, these guys have come to my city a lot of times, and I've never gone to see them. I've heard them play, because where they play, the noise travels along the water where I live near. Anyway, so I've heard them. Like, I walked outside during the summer and I said, who's playing Sloan? And then I found out they're playing in my city, and I was like, oh, that's who's playing Sloan. So yeah, I just think about that, and I think about how big they are here, and maybe not big elsewhere, especially in the US or something. And I think about how underrated, some bands are, some Canadian bands are, that maybe didn't make it outside of here. The Tragically Hip come to mind. They were beloved in Canada, but maybe didn't really make it elsewhere. Rush is a huge band that made it elsewhere. I don't know why they came to mind, but anyway. The Trues, a big band in Canada. 5440. I mean, I love 5440. My God. But just these bands that, are great in Canada, but maybe outside of it, they don't make it, and they're underrated. And I like a comment here on YouTube that talked about how this is the greatest band you've never heard of. That kind of a thing comes to mind. But of course, if you have heard Sloan, you know how good they are. So anyway, but yeah, I just love the musicianship here, how quick it was, how fast it was, how frantic things were, how frenetic everything seemed to be. And there were moments, though, like a couple times where they did take a breath, they calmed down a bit, but then they go right back into it. And I just, I don't know, I just loved how the adrenaline that was pumping here. And I mean, I was into it. Like I said, I don't know how you listen to this and you don't have to, you don't pump your head along to those power chords and just that drumming as well. I mean, there's just the backbeat of the song there, I thought, my God. And when you look at these lyrics before we get into them, obviously, and Patrick says it out loud, this song is about being on the road, being a traveling band, going town to town. A song like Tempted by Squeeze comes to mind, and that song's about, kind of about love and all that stuff. But this one is almost about the love of the road. I mean, some of these lines, they seem almost addicted to the road and going town to town and seeing different people and maybe different women, whatever it is. I mean, these guys were young at the time, I would say, younger than they are now, obviously, and yeah, just everything that goes along with that, the frantic life of a Canadian rock star, or just a rock star everywhere, and trying to make a name for yourself, trying to make some money through this means. And I just love that. And anyway, so then we go on. Let's go into the intro here with the various siren sounds, of course. And like I said, such a grabbing, sound right off the get-go. Those sirens get you hooked in, my God, at least for me. And then we have the first verse. All you've found is another back door that no one sees a reason for. And I don't know what it is, but he has some kind... His cadence, I guess, it just sounds so cool. He has a cool voice. I mean, my God, icy cool voice. Good Lord. I did talk about how I like how kind of friendly he sounds, but yes, it is a very cool voice still. At the heart of the traveling band, you have to understand there's a driving need to hit the yellow line. Now there, I just think, again, we're on the road, we're on the move, we're a traveling band, we're, city to city, all this stuff. We got to make money. As the title puts it, money, city, maniacs, money, city, these maniacs, that's what we're all about. I mean, it's, telling you right there, good Lord. And we had to hit that yellow line. And I know some people maybe get tired of the road. And I do believe that from what I read, the band started in 91, I want to say, and this was released in 98. So they've been going for a while here, like 7 years, and it does not seem like they're tired of the road. It seems like they want to get right back out there, and they just love this lifestyle. They love doing this stuff, it seems like to me anyway, from that first verse. And then we go into the chorus, which I don't know if I've already said it or not because I've taken a couple pauses, but I've heard this obviously, but I've never known what the hell he's saying. And the joke is, when he awoke, his body was covered in Coke Fizz. And the joke is, when he awoke, his body was covered in Coke Fizz. Again, it just seems so odd. And it just seems so kind of weird. And I was like, is that a cocaine reference? Is that talking about, the life on the road? What can happen, these extravagant parties, whatever it is, I don't know. But I did see a quote here from Chris Murphy, who of course did the choruses here. So this is from my goodness gracious, last.fm. There you go, my goodness gracious. And it just a quote. It says, Murphy claims that the chorus was made up on stage in Buffalo. So there you go, Buffalo, New York, my goodness gracious, close to Canada anyway. And that it means nothing except Patrick's song is about a traveling band, and my chorus is essentially about a wet dream. My goodness, arguably the lifestyle we lead is like a dream, or at least out of touch with reality. I know that's pushing it. So there's the quote there. And again, and I have seen some people comment because people have made references or have talked about what that chorus seems to be about. But I've seen people say what Chris just said. It's kind of a nonsensical thing, and it's just a catchy little chorus there, and it has great rhyming detail, and there you go. And again, it makes people question what the hell's going on, I feel like, and it's a great little chorus, so there you go. Again, I guess, like a wet dream, being in a band is like a wet dream, and again, just how addicted they seem to be to the road, it all fits together, good Lord. And then you go on to the next part here with the second verse, Hey You. Again, the song is so inviting. Hey, you. Now I'm thinking of BTO. You've been around for a while. If you admit that you were wrong, then we'll admit that we're right. Hey, you, come along for the ride. We'll hit the money city if it takes us all night. Again, that's what it seems like they're always after, the money and go into that city. My goodness gracious. And they're down for whatever. I don't know if they're talking to people to bring along here, girls, whatever it is, friends. I don't know. But you just talk about, hey, you've been around for a while. Maybe we're talking about roadies. If we're going to this city, if it takes us all night, they're addicted to that road. And then we go into the chorus one more time. Then the guitar breakdown, like I kind of said, great little solos in there. Not really little, but just great frenetic crashing solos, crashing with the drumming too, I should say. And then the bridge, hey you, we've been around for a while, the same thing. And that line, if you admit that you were wrong, then we'll admit that we're right. It's just so sassy. I love it. Take the heart of the traveling band, you have that part again. All we know is the yellow line. You got to understand, my goodness gracious. And then the outro, and the joke is, when he awoke, his body was covered in Coke Fizz, and that's repeated on. And I just love the repetition here. I just love the style, like I said. I love the swagger. I love how Canadian it all sounds. I love how punchy it is, and I love how in your face and just guttural and I don't know, and it's a great Canadian rock song. And I say Canadian way too. I said it way too many times in the song or in this video. And it's just a great rock song. Good Lord. That anyone can get into, whether you're Canadian or not. And that's the whole point of the song, I feel like. And that's why it's probably one of, if not their biggest hits. So anyway, I guess that's all I gotta say. Again, from not knowing what the chorus was all about, just to find out that it's kind of just nonsensical, and Chris kind of just made it up. And it kind of just represents, I guess, a wet dream or whatever, waking up with Coke Fizz, covered in Coke Fizz. Maybe the Coke Fizz referencing something wet there, I guess. But anyway, just so quirky. I mean, quirky is a great word for this, and just so fun. It's fun. Oh my God, they're having some fun here. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. Thanks for requesting these guys. Again, I don't know how this video is going to do, but they've been requested a few times, so I figured let's do it. So anyway, thanks for watching. All the support. I'll talk to you guys again soon.